Hello, welcome back to the King Extra class. Happy New Year to us all once again. Okay, so in today's class, we're looking at distance between 2 points. How do we find the distance between 2 points in a question under a topic in mathematics? Okay, very quickly. This can be said to be treated under straight line graphs or straight line, itself. Graph is an extension, of straight line equations. So we
At
have
this
our
point,
what
what do we have?
y against what x, and we also have a triangle what PQR. Now, where in this case we have our what the longest side because of this perpendicular nature here at R. Then we have what angle Q, angle P with resultant L, change in y, change in x. Now, why change in y? Because this is y, and then I'm looking at the distance between what, or the difference between what y2 and what y1. So this is changing x because I'm looking at distance between what x2 and what x1. So this distance, that's why it's changing x, and this distance, that's why it's what changing y. As simple as that. Now this is, if this point q is x2 comma y2, this is x1 comma y1, then what happens? It means that to get the distance L is to say, using what Pythagoras theorem, what do we have? We have what line what PQ all square, which is the longest side, equals to line PR squared plus what line what QR squared. That is, the longest side squared is equal to the sum of the squares of these two sides. So this is PQ, this is QR, this is PR. That is, I'm going to have this as what L squared equals to, now PR, which is this, is what changing x, and that's what x2 minus what x1 all squared plus y2 minus y1 all squared. Why? Because QR is what changing y. Changing y is equals to what y2 minus what y1. So let's put it there, and this is what x2 minus what x1. Now at this point, what then do we have? It means that my L becomes what the square root of what x2 minus x1 all squared plus what y2 minus y1 all squared. Now take note, any of this can come first because of what plus that is in between. Very good. So this is my formula for what distance. That's my formula for what for distance. As simple as that. Now in this case, then, to solve these questions, these two questions very quickly. Solution: find the distance between each pair of points, this and this. So if we say this is P and this is Q, how do we solve? If we say this is X and this is Y, how do we solve? Now in this case, what happens? For A, distance along PQ becomes what? Becomes the square root of what? Y2 minus Y1 all squared plus what? X2 minus X1 all squared. Now remember or recall, this first point represents what? The first point of x, first point of y. This second one represents what? The second point of x, second point of y. How do I mean? X1, y1, x2, y2. The same thing goes for this second question. So it means I'm going to have this as what? So let's go on. What's my y2? Y2 is what? 6 minus what's y1? Y1 is 2 all squared plus what is x2? 1 minus what's x1? 7 all squared. So that becomes what? 6 minus 2, 4 squared plus 1 minus 7 minus 6 squared. So that becomes what? Square root of what? 4 squared here gives us what? Gives us 16. So I have 16 plus minus 6 all squared is as though saying what? Minus 6 times minus 6. That's plus 36. So this sign still works for us. Finally, now on adding, what do we have? This is 52. This is 52. Now we can stop here, or you can press your calculator to get the answer. or we can use it to short form. Now, by saying what can we multiply together to give us 52? 13 times 4. So that is 2 root 13. Okay. So if you want to, now I did this, make sure you visit my video on on sorts. Yes. So then for B question, what do we have? I'm looking for what distance between x, y. If I label it this point x and this point y. How then do I solve? It's as simple as those saying also I have the square root of what? Now let's take x squared first, or x first, like so. So we have x2 minus x1 all squared plus what? Y2 minus y1 all squared. Remember, you can interchange because of this sign plus. Now it means xy becomes what? The square root of what? What's x2 here? x2 is what? Minus 2. So I have into brackets minus 2 minus, right? x2 minus 2 minus x1 is what? 3. Okay, all squared plus what was y2? y2 is minus 2 minus what's y1? Minus 3. Be very careful. Minus 3 all squared. Come again. So y2 is what? Minus 2. Then minus y1 is what? Minus 3. So minus minus will become plus. Don't go and mistakenly write minus 3 down because that's very wrong. So we said whatever is minus, make sure you're very careful. Minus 2 minus 3 means I'm owing you 2 naira, I'm owing you 3 naira. So I'm owing you what? 5 naira all in total. Plus, this becomes minus 2 plus 3 all squared. Why? Because minus minus here is what? Plus. This remains the same. So what does this become? The square root of what? Now, minus 5 all squared is the same thing as what? Minus 5 times minus 5, and that's what? 25. Now, let's see. Plus minus 2 plus 3. I'm owing you 2. I have 3. So I'll give you your 2. I would have what? 1 left. So 1 squared is what? 1. So this is what? The square root of what? 26. Now, square root of 26, I can leave my answer like this, or you convert it to decimal. Or let's look for multiples of 26 and see what can happen. 13 times 2, I think, is the only multiple of 26. So this is my answer.